Hey, are you a small business owner? Do you want to know how to make a bunch of money when everybody else is panicking? Okay, there is a coming storm. The recession talk is real. I've coached over 1,000 small business owners just like you for over a decade, and the chatter is getting noisier and noisier. Because look, this is not fake. There's runaway inflation. There's real pain that's going to happen to a lot of people. But at the same time, honest to God, I've never been more excited for you than I am right now. The truth is that whenever there's a reset, there's a recession, there's some sort of correction in the market, yeah, there's going to be pain. There's going to be people getting metaphorically ran over by the train, but there's going to be other people that become the drivers of the train. Which one are you going to become? Because there's opportunity everywhere, but people just can't see it. If you're scared, if you're paralyzed by fear, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you have this uncertainty, it's okay. But I want to tell you something. There's a gold rush coming. Are you ready for the gold rush? Are you ready? I'm going to give you a few tips, some things that I've learned that hopefully inspire you and encourage you so you can freaking crush it and become a winner. Look, when these corrections happen, people become rich and some people get smashed. Yes, that's true. You know, what doesn't tend to happen is the people in the middle just kind of carry along. So you kind of are at a crossroads to some extent. And are you going to level up your mindset and your skill sets and your network and really lean into this stuff? I hope you do. This video is a gift to you. Let me tell you a story real quick. In the year 1848, it was kind of when the gold rush kicked off. You remember the California gold rush back in the day? You learned about it in high school. Here's the crazy part. There was only about 1,000 people in that little region of California where the gold rush kicked off. And in 1 year, it grew to 100,000 people. So my question to you is, why? Why did that happen? Why would that many people move there? Well, I'll tell you in 1 second why, but think about this. There was no modern transportation back then. These people were going like maybe on a train if they had the money. Most of them didn't have tons of money. And so they were like saddling up their mule and their donkey and their horse and like going across like through the forest across the entire United States just to have a chance to strike it rich because of the gold rush. And they probably read about it in newspapers that, you know, maybe there's a telegram, or I don't know how the news of the gold rush made it to the East Coast of the United States, but it made it. People talked about it. They probably cried and hugged their family, and the husband, you know, loaded up his covered wagon and took off, right? Just for a chance. You got to understand, as a small business owner, I don't care what kind of business you're in. I don't care how broke you are right now. You right now, my friend, have the earning potential of a professional athlete. Did you hear what I just said? This is real. You could be 3 to 5 moves away, 3 to 5 things that you don't understand right now, but if you did, away from changing your life for the rest of your life. But it starts with one simple thing. Here's my question. Why did so many people take action on the gold rush? There wasn't even that huge of a population in our country at the time, and 100,000 people went. Why? Why would they do that? Why would they take action? It's because of belief. They were what I call fully persuaded. So let's take 2 seconds and talk about belief, because I'm not a woo-woo person per se, okay? But I have coached over 1,000 small business owners over a decade, and I can tell you one thing that's for sure. It's people that have high levels of belief and certainty are disproportionately more successful than other people. And I think people have a misunderstanding about belief. If I asked you, how big is the opportunity for your business? I'd get a variety of answers. But almost everyone would be wrong because they misunderstand how big the opportunity really is. We think too small on accident. Another thing that makes belief really important is we misunderstand our own ability. We think that other people that have succeeded have some sort of magical power that we don't possess, and that's just not true. Have you ever heard the quote, "Never meet your heroes"? That's why, because they're not that cool. They're not as smart as you think they are. They don't know that much more stuff than you. They might know 23 things that you don't know right now, and they might have more belief than you have right now, and that's it. But here's the good news. You can learn the 23 things and up-level your belief, and then you can get the same result or bigger results than they had in the first place. Are you fully persuaded that what's in your hand with your business right now can change your family tree forever? Do you believe it? Do you believe it? Do you know it? Are you fully persuaded? Because belief is not yes or no. It's not yes, I believe, no, I don't believe. That's binary. Belief is a continuum. It's how much do you believe it? Because the person that believes in the opportunity at a level of 83 units of belief, it's not the same thing as a person at 92 units of belief. I want you to get to 100 units of belief to become fully persuaded that there really is a coming gold rush. And no matter what happens with our currency and the economy, there are going to be opportunities. I want you to prepare yourself so you can capitalize on it. Let's get into this. Have you ever heard of Parkinson's law? Pretty common. It's out there. You can Google it. Parkinson's law says that any task will expand to the amount of time allotted for it. right? You ever heard that? And an example is if you say, hey, I'm going to lose weight this year. Sure, you'll lose weight. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But it's really open-ended, right? So it'll probably take you until the end of the year, then you'll lose the weight. If you said, I'm going to lose weight by next week, that's better. But if you said, I'm going to lose 5 pounds by next Friday at 12 p.m., that's best, right? Because you will do it. You know that you could do it. And because it's razor sharp, that task, you can fit it into a week, you can fit it into a year. But that's how that works. But I want to introduce you to a different law called Joshua's Law. Now, it's not really Joshua's Law. I just made this up. But here's my definition of Joshua's Law, is that your growth or success will expand to fill the belief that you have allotted for it. What do I mean? What I mean, it's super simple, but it's also profound. Hear me on this, okay? If you believe you're not worthy of success, if you believe the opportunity is not that big, both of which you'd be wrong, but if you believe those things, your growth is constrained inside the little box of those two things. If you believe you're not worthy or that you're dirty for trying to be successful, you're never going to pursue the thing that you despise. You're never going to go hard enough to give yourself a chance. And if you believe the opportunity is really small, or if you set really tiny goals, you'll sort of like almost hit them and you'll just struggle for years. So I'm here to help you up-level your belief, understand the true scope of the opportunity that you have the earning potential of a professional athlete. Millions of kids grow up in inner cities and they feel, it's not correct, but they feel like their only chance of being wealthy or being successful is becoming a professional athlete. Are you kidding me? If you're a small business owner, you can make it rain for your family. You can change your family tree. The opportunities are big, even with weird, tiny businesses. I'm going to give you some examples of some weird businesses towards the end of this. But let's get into this. Let me help break your brain real quick. Did you know that there's a company based in the United States that does over $6 million per hour in profit? You've heard of this company, okay? You've heard of the company. You're probably already thinking, who is Josh talking about? Who is it? Well, it's Apple. Apple, right? And you're thinking, Josh, well, I'm not Apple. Stop using Steve Jobs as an example. I'm struggling over here on Main Street trying to make money. No. I'm not saying you need to be like Apple. I'm proving a point here. Apple sells high-ticket electronics. They're huge. They're like the biggest company in the world. $6.3 million per hour, not in revenue, in profit, okay? Here's another example, $195,000 per hour. What's interesting about this company, this one won't be obvious to you, but I'll tell you who they are in 1 second, is that they sell low-ticket trinkets all over the United States, okay? It's a little company you might have heard of called Dollar General. And the reason I give these two examples is because they're very extremely different companies. They're completely different. They sell different price point stuff to different groups of people. Your average shopper at Dollar General, on average, isn't the person that's standing in line till 2 a.m. in the morning to get the new iPhone when it releases, right? These are different people, but here's the deal. They're in totally different markets, selling to totally different people at totally different profit price points. But guess what? They're both doing pretty good, okay? They probably both have like helicopter pads and they can like give to charity and they have extra money. And the founders of these companies have done really well for themselves. Did you realize how much money Dollar General was making per hour in profit? Do you not think in your small town, or if you have an online business with the 1,000 people that you're destined to serve, that you can't make a few $1 million? Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Wake up, the opportunity is huge. So here's the question, how do we fully capitalize on the gold rush or the opportunities that are in front of us? I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how you can do that. And the first one is you need to become a manager of theatrical productions. And I am no like theater kid, like I hated that stuff when I was younger. But I saw this movie, you might have heard of it, called The Greatest Showman. Hugh Jackman, the Wolverine guy, he's in it. It's a musical, and I hate musicals. I think they're terrible and boring and awful, and don't judge me, but they make me want to just drive off a cliff when I watch them. Except this one didn't. I love this movie. The Greatest Showman is like one of the best entrepreneur movies I've ever seen. It just does such a good job, and it's about a guy named P.T. Barnum. Now, before I tell you about P.T. Barnum, and maybe something you've never heard about P.T. Barnum, if you study the etymology of the word entrepreneur, okay? Even if you have no employees and it's just you, but you're just a big dreamer, you're an entrepreneur, okay? If you go back to the, I think it's the mid-1800s, it's rooted in this definition, a manager of theatrical productions. If you think about it as small business owners, The really successful ones, this is what they do. They're a manager of a theatrical production. You're probably totally confused. What does that mean? It means showing up with nerdy enthusiasm. It means showing up into the world and choreographing your marketing and your messaging and the way you serve your clients, the way that you recruit and hire and retain employees. All of this is like you're a conductor of like this play. And we're going to get into that in a second. But back to P.T. Barnum. P.T. Barnum teaches a principle called showcase your elephant. What do you have for sale? What do you sell? What service or product do you sell? Just picture that, answer that in the comment. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What do you sell? What's for sale? What business are you in? Whatever your answer is, doesn't matter. You need to become a manager of theatrical productions and you need to showcase your elephant. The elephant is the thing that you have for sale, so to speak. There's this cool story. You know, P.T. Barnum was, I think, the second millionaire in the United States. He was also the first person to bring an elephant to the United States, as far as I can tell, doing my research online. And it was this profound, freakishly interesting thing when he brought this elephant here. Well, what he did, because he's a smart marketer, he knows how to make noise to get attention. He knows how to let people know that they should all buy his stuff, which was a museum at the time. He wanted to sell tickets to his museum. So he got this elephant and he put it on a piece of land right near the train station in New York, I believe. And he attached plowshares to it. And he had this elephant plow a field next to the train station. Thousands of people per day are driving by on the train with their face glued to the window saying, "What the frick, there's a freaking elephant." And they may not even known what an elephant was, right? Back then. And so it was the talk of the town. So how can you as a small business owner take this principle of looking at yourself? You might think, I'm just a service provider. I'm just a plumber. I'm just a this. No, my friend. You, assuming you want to unlock the gold rush, see more opportunities and change your family tree and make a lot more money, you need to become a manager of theatrical productions. Everything is choreography. Everything is marketing. Everything. We'll get into more of it.